Hi. Let's try that again, shall we? Yeah, I was on mute. That was embarrassing. Oh my god. Start as we mean to go on, huh? I mean, it's not an EN VTuber if there's no scuff, is it? We are carrying on with Ace investigations tonight. I am extremely tired, and I'm hoping we can get through this act, and then it's not going to tax me too much, basically. So to give you some context, I would have actually rescheduled this to next Friday, the one coming, but my mum's coming up for her December visit on that Friday. So it's like, well, I can either play it tonight, or we're going to have to miss it for like 2 weeks. And so now we'll play it tonight. We'll shift Fields of Mystery to tomorrow. And then, I mean, I think Tectonica, I'm probably going to slide to the Wednesday or Thursday slot this week. Probably the Wednesday slot, actually. We can keep Thursday for... We can have Thursdays like Tomb Thursdays. You know, that's a nice little themed thing. Anyhow, let's jump on in. So, the videotaped testimony, eh? Wait a minute. Ara. I'm not gonna have to watch that video of the blue trauma again, am I? You didn't tell me about this. I'm scared. I've just done a little putt-putt from my butt-butt. There's no blue trauma. Oh, okay. I'm not scared anymore. I was mostly concerned we were going to have to deal with the blue trauma and that videotape from the security locker. I haven't actually calibrated my camera. Hold on. Woo! There we go. Okay. Yeah, I've taken to... in fact, I'll tell you what I haven't done. I haven't even got my Streamlights on. What the fuck am I doing today? Hold on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I've got two ring lights to basically make the camera see my face better. I think my tracking might be bad at the minute because I haven't gone for a haircut in a little while. Like, I'm starting to get a bit of a fringe. Okay. Right, let me just make sure this camera's on properly. Okay, is that better? That looks better. Okay, good. Right, yeah, I just don't want my eyes to be constantly like, ah, yes, I'm talking, but it's like, no, my eyes are not actually closed. Okay. So, let's jump in. Okay. So now we know who the Yatagrasu really was. And yet there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how's the weapons cross-country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. You know who doesn't have strict entry protocols? Phoenix, right? Edgeworth just says, Daddy needs to top, and Phoenix is just like, objection? What are you objecting to, kitten? I'm not really, Daddy. Yeah, but where's the lie? Where's the lie? Phoenix is... Oi. Phoenix is massively S, right? Phoenix is like a turbo sub. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't convince me otherwise. He bottoms for Daddy Edgeworth. You're not going to bunk because you're a what? No, I know what's about to happen. No. Oh, I think I'm safe. Okay. You didn't want to think about that? Oh, okay. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Okay. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. Okay, children, now you get to learn what a VCR is. So a VCR is what we used to watch videos on. And it's basically a big cassette tape. And if you don't know what a cassette tape is, it's a magnetic reel which is arranged between two spools, and as it moves across a reader, the reader picks up what's on that strip, and it will make like either a sound or play a video off of it. And that's how we used to do things in the 80s and 90s. Like VCR was like, I had a VCR in my bedroom. It used to be my granddad's. It's like, the selling point was, oh my god, you can record stuff with this. And it's like, oh, really? I can record the television. If you don't know how magnets work, it's okay. No one does. Fucking magnets. How do they work? I really hope you weren't leading me into an insane clown posse joke there, because if you were, then it's worked. Now I can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave us. This piece of evidence from the KG8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us. Magnets are just a mess and a half. I mean, not necessarily. Like, how do magnets work? Well, let me tell you how magnets work, chat. Let's give you an explanation. Magnets work anytime that you hit the opponent with a drive move, it magnetizes them for a certain number of frames. And there are some moves which are not drive moves, which also impart magnetism. They are few and far between. However, when you are applying magnetism to the opponent, when you use a move where your hand glows, it will drag them towards you. And that means that you can do some very silly things, like see someone start jumping, jump in the air, and air driver! Just like that. How are these Iron Tiger jokes working? Hit, miss? Kind of need to know the source material? I quite like them. Sure thing, sir. Okay, what's going on? You gonna magneto-hydrodynamically confine my stream? Huh. Whoa! What? This man, it's Manny Cochin. He's holding a knife in his hand. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. An apartment building? How'd you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file. Oh, I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident. Answer crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building. At the trial, Mr. Faraday claims that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow, someone was able to steal it and hide it from Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it. But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. Gumshoe, we've already established that. Look, he's holding the card. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsmouth to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Where? Wait, what was that? Huh? That bit you played just now, please show it to me again. Oh? This car. This is something we cannot overlook. Hang on. It's an embassy vehicle. Interesting. What is that, sir? Look here, Detective Gumshoe.
Take that!
This is the national flag of the Principality of Codopia. He got killed by a transformer. Oh no! Transformers, I will stab your eyes. Autobots wage their battles to destroy the evil forces of the victim in the KG8 incident. Transformers, I live in your eyes. Anyway. And because it has the national flag on it, we know that it's to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? Ah, Miss Von Carbon, Mr. Edgeworth, so you were here all this time. Ambassador Alba. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This had nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot quackers! You couldn't chase after a simple thief! Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you've apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Barbary's police? Ambassador, we are so close. Just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That's true, however... As he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends? Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. Yo. Oh, sunglasses are on. Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Oh. Ambassador Alva, I get it now. I really do. Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel. You see, Agent Lang, I think you're a right bit of ass. Apparently we're in Turbo Curse mode tonight. Anyway. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. Oh? You... No. The... Killer? That was actually kind of hard on the voice. My sussiness is reaching new heights. Oi. I am the most say-so sea slug you're going to find this side of the Atlantic. Alright? I am incredibly wholesome. Like, I'm so wholesome that if I was bread, I would be beyond wholemeal. I would literally just be the grain of the bread. Right? Just the grain of the bread. You're smashing eggs. You saw that in Among Us? No, I wasn't sus in Among Us. Where I killed everyone. No. See, I didn't kill everyone. I just caused them to not be alive anymore. And that's different. You know, that's different. I didn't kill them. I just made them not live any further than that point, right? It's different. Wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Shih-na. Lang Shi says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. That's actually very true. The truth is unexpectedly simple. Using words to my advantage so I truly am a lawyer? I mean, yeah. That's literally what I do for a living. Oh, dear. No. I think that there's a distinction to be made, right? You know, I didn't kill those people. I didn't. Because, you know... Or at least, no, I didn't murder those people because that implies that I had... you know, it was purposeful. And it wasn't. You know, I just accidentally pressed a certain button at the wrong time every time. I'm very accident prone. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask 2's killer? I'll tell you who. It was him? It was you, Franziska von Karma. What? What? She looks very, very angry. I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although, that whip is actually quite, Ah! Hold your tongue and that ludicrous remark you are about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey, sis. I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right? Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabasta and Babal, did you not?
Objection!
And that is your evidence that I'm the killer!
Now go back!
Huh. I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good. Then let's move out. Oh, don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Why are you betting her bottom? Like, Agent Lang, why are you betting her bottom? I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but, you know, she's very cross right now. And a whip doesn't just lash. You can use a whip to strangle someone, and she might just do that to you if you're not careful. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset, not that I blame her. I expected you to accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Ah!
Hold it!
Agent Lang. As someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part, and so that I may clean up my superior's mess. Huh. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Huh. Oh, in that case I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabasta yet. If you let Kay in, you gotta let me in too, pal. Can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition so you can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and ready to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is going to get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well, but I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. Huh. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. I'm confused. Like, why would he accuse Francisca? Because logically, there's not really a reason that she would do it. And she's not really had the chance to. Unless he's just bullshitting. Unless he's just bullshitting so that the ambassador lets him into the office. So he can have the opportunity to look for the real killer. Yeah, I feel like this is a gambit. This feels like a Xanatos gambit. Where he's kind of laid out a lot of threads, and all of them lead to winning. If you don't know the Xanatos gambit, by the way, it's David Xanatos from the cartoon Gargoyles from the 90s. One of those rare villains who, like... He was not, like, evil for the sake of evil. He was just a dickhead capitalist. But also, he was brilliantly written. Like, unusually well written for a Saturday morning kids show villain. In that he was smart. He laid out many threads all at once, and all of them led to a positive outcome for him. If you look up on TV trips, Xanatos Speed Chess, let me just pop it into the chat for you. You can have a look into it. It's actually an interesting read. For a while, I'd forgotten how brilliant the character was, but I digress. Okay, now let's go. Let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretariat's office at Babal. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then, the body of Damas too, Mr. Kashi Nu, was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was this primitive statue. And that is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it. Sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off.
Objection!
Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you are saying? Of course I do, sis. And I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. And so, while people were distracted by the Yatagarasu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire.
Objection!
Even if all's out for true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Don't worry. I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that, too. You had permission to investigate both embassies as well. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the... Hey now, where did my coat go? I didn't even press anything! I didn't press anything and my coat just came off. Look, sis, I thought I already told you, I'm not messing around here. Ah! Lang moment number 4? This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring. But Shih-na certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He is right in saying she's a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring... Could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? He caught Franny's whip mid-air. See, I don't understand why you would. Like... Why would you? You know... Why would you reject her blessed kiss? Look. Listen. Listen. When you get to my age, pain is the only thing you can feel anymore, and it's the only thing that reminds you that you're still alive. So... Yeah. Ugh. Let's get these ridiculous suckers over with already. Francisco, you need to calm down. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it. What? But don't worry, I am taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask II. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. As long as I have no good counter-argument to this hypothesis, then the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Yes, let's. Okay. Border crossing weapons. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. And the murder weapon in the killing of Damask II is Babal's primitive statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisco will remain a suspect. There are actually two other people who would be able to move freely between the two countries and without scrutiny. He seemed so nice. But I suppose that the sideburns meant he was evil the whole time. Alright. You got it, Mr. Prosecutor, so why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility. There's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I've learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lang Chi's never said anything to that effect. Hey, Zach, how we going? All good here. How about you? How was Thanksgiving? Did you have a good day? I hope that you ate many turkey. Or if you don't eat turkey due to, say, vegetarianism, that you ate very good equivalent to turkey. I mean, even if you... I mean, I actually floated to the wife, hey, should we have duck for Christmas dinner? She shot the idea down, but, like, you know, I do break tradition on these things on a frequent basis. You prosecutor, who do you think you are speaking about Lang Chi's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words rule you will need to see the truth. Lots of turkey and stuffing? Beautiful. My wife actually doesn't like... Well, I say doesn't like, she refuses to eat stuffing. I can't work it out. She likes onion, she likes bread. Sage, I've put into stuff before and she's been fine with it, but you put those three things in combination together and she can't handle it. It doesn't make no sense. Right.
Hold it!
I concur that this knife crossed over country lines. Good, but that's not the only thing that did. We mustn't forget about the other weapon. The knife was only one. Oh, okay. Wow, that didn't... He shot that the fuck down. Jesus.
Hold it!
So you're saying that the primitive statue was also brought over by Francisca? Like I told you before, that's the only way it makes sense.
Hold it!
And how exactly did she bring it over? I haven't figured that out yet. That's a rather weak statement considering how sure you are. It's definitely one of the ambassadors, because if anyone else was moving a primitive statue, they would get, like... Hang on, let me pull this up a minute, hold on. Where is it? It doesn't say anymore, but it said before that these can only be moved by the ambassadors, right? Or there's like one other person who can move them, but it's not Francisca. So it's big enough that if she was seen moving, they'd just be like, oh, what the fuck are you doing, you whippy little German? And she's like, I am taking this big golden man to bludgeon someone. It's not going to happen, is it? Maybe. But there's one thing I do know for sure.
Hold it!
Okay. I'm causing an international incident. Diplomacy is nuts. How do you think my German impression is, by the way, Ara? How is my German impression? You should go back and watch the VOD, What's Happening Now. So basically, we have worked out that Shih-na is... she's part of the smuggling ring. She's the one who killed Manny Cochin. We're trying to work out now who killed Damask II. And it looks like he's one of the ambassadors. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing, I think. Impenetrable? I should hardly think so.
Not so fast.
Do you know what isn't impenetrable? Phoenix, right? Hey! You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all that barbed wire. Listen, Hades, listen. If Phoenix was impenetrable, then Edgeworth would never smile. You know, and also his suit wouldn't be red, it would be blue, because Phoenix would be blue-balling him. If I said I was sorry, you wouldn't believe me anyway, so I'm not even going to try. The only way into either embassy is through the doors of the Theatrum Neutralis. So the only way for the knife and the primitive statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors. Okay.
Hold it!
Was Francisca really the only person to have travelled between the two countries? According to the guards at both doors, she's the only one to go back and forth. The sis there was in Albas when the Yatagarasu showed. And then, just before you guys found Mr. Cochin's body, she entered Babal. I think we can assume that's when she brought the knife into Babal.
Objection!
Then how do you explain the primitive statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across the country lines. The only things to cross the border are the primitive statue and the knife? I should hardly think that those are the only two items, Agent Lang. Okay. It's this. This looks to be the statement. We got the sort of gloom. So let me have a look and see what my evidence says. Okay. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. Where were these found again? Hey, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. There's dirt on here. It's totally ruined the beauty of the hair stick. I suppose. Why is there dirt stuck on the end of a hair stick in the first place? The design of these things are rather eccentric for hair sticks. Huh? Really? Well, if they're that strange, what should I do with them? They were Shih-na's hair sticks? I have to say, these are by far the most bizarre hair sticks I've ever seen. In any case, Kay, there's something I've been meaning to ask. How exactly do you stick that hair of yours into your hair like that? That's a secret. Curiouser and curiouser. See, there's some dirt on the tips. Look, they look like these. Wait. Dirt on the tips. These were holding passion flowers. These aren't hair sticks at all. Hold on. These were in the governor's office, right? These are in this office that we're in right now in Alabast. But these were on Shih-na, who was in Babal. So that has to mean that she has crossed over the country lines at some point, right? I might be overcooking. Okay, understood. So what else crossed over? A fake, but swapped with the real one, is originally from Alabast. I mean, this one was swapped over at some point as well. It's the only thing I can think of. Ara, help me out. You know this game. Was I overcooking or was I cooking to the right temperature? Because like I'm perfectly prepared that this might be me overcooking horrendously. I mean, would this be? The only one who traversed... I was cooking at the right temperature, but I put the pasta before the water. Right. Well, that'll explain why it's crunchy. That explains why the pasta's crunchy. Okay. Right, so, I was cooking at the right temperature, but the pasta went before the water. You can't see me on the other side of the camera right now, but, like, my wife pointed this out to me. She's like, why do you do that thing with your finger when you're thinking really hard? And I'm just like, what do you mean? And then I realised, I actually, when I'm thinking really hard, do you remember Apollo's thinking pose where he's kind of folding his arms and he's got his finger pressed at the top of his nose between his eyes? I do that. I do that constantly, and I've only just been told about this, and I've been doing it for years, and I never realised. Anyway, so, think. Bills circulating in Shengfa, made by Coach and burned up in Babal. They've not come across the border. Doctorate smelling of Babel using Piss point to Cochin. Seems to be that. I mean, the only conclusion I'm coming to is the passion flowers, the sticks, and the primitive statues. So did we ever actually work out what this was? In my three answers, I have the right one. So if I put the pasta before the water with... I'm going to save Scum Kaiose this up. Because of course I am. I'm going to try... If I put the pasta before the water with the passion flowers, then I think we go with the statue.
Objection!
Nope, it's not the statue. Okay. It's not the statue. I'll reload that because I was actually thinking that was the more likely one. Okay. It might be the wrong statue. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, hold on. We'll try that again then. We'll try the other statue. It's not the statue! I've been betrayed! It's not the statue! Huh? So it's got to be the passion flowers or the stick. It's got to be the sticks then. Alright, we'll try that then.
Objection!
It's the wrong statement. What? Ara! You gotta go, Hades. No worries. You take care, right? And hopefully see you soon. I'm gonna be playing something tomorrow. I might put Fields of Mystery to Wednesday, and I might do Tectonica tomorrow, because Tectonica, like, I like to be able to sink a bit of time into it. So it's the wrong statement. Hold on. The murder weapon in the killing of Damas 2 is Babal's primitive statue. Maybe it's this one? Which statement then? Because, like, why did it give me the... It gives you the jingle to say you're on the right track on the other statement, the third one. Why? Like, when I pressed on this one, it clonged. And normally what it does is it clongs on the statement you need to present on. So having to do it on the one before that, come on, Capcom. What are you doing? Why are you torturing like this? This is CBT Capcom. It's Capcom ball torture. Yeah, so if you go onto the statement at the end and you press, then it kind of goes at one point, and that's normally the clue to say you're on the right track with this. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like that glung sort of noise. It doesn't do it. Does you don't know that noise? Huh? Wait. What? Yeah. What do you mean? No. It does it. It's been doing it like through the entire game series. Like you go onto the fourth thing, you press. He says a couple of things, and it kind of goes glung, and it's like, ah, okay, we're on the right track here. But it's on the fourth statement, not the third. So it kind of threw me off into thinking the fourth is definitely the correct one, because that's how the game's logic works. It always clongs on the one that you want to be like focusing on. So I've been red herringed. All right, we'll try. We'll lob a statue at him. Hey, Agent Lang, catch.
Objection!
Agent Lang, those two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Oh. Damas 2 was killed with Babal's primitive statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's primitive statue go? To Babal. Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only that Sis is the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabasta and Babal is her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person, one who paid a visit to both sides of the wall.
Objection!
Is that really so, Agent Black? What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guard said along with the security camera's footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily.
Objection!
But suppose there was some other way other than through the theatre doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. If I pointed out, it would open up a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. It looks like you've got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Fine, then. Let's see this piece of evidence that will show me this other route. This piece of evidence will show us another way to move between the two countries. I mean, surely it's got to be this. The Yasagarasu flying down. Like they've gone over the top of the barbed wire. It has to be, surely. Surely. Ara, I'm doubting myself. Please hold my hand and tell me everything's going to be okay. As I rock back and forth in my chair talking about the war, I found this shiny penny once upon a time, and then there was a big nasty German. Everything's gonna be terrible? Oh. Okay. It's the right evidence. Oh, okay.
Take that!
Agent Lang, I'm sure you're familiar with this unforgettable photo. That supernatural photo? Like I said before. Humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't start claiming that Shih-na somehow have good wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you said either. I'll say it again, it's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Jetpack. Wait! Oh my fucking god. I didn't even consider that. We just worked out who the murderer is. And it turns out that the one time they gave that item was the time that we caught them for it. The murderer is Raura Panthera of Hollow EN. And how do we know it was her? Because she gave Chitini jetpack. And that's how you fly without wings. She gave them jetpack. She played herself. The one time that she gives them jetpack and she gets nailed for murder. Well, well, well. Ah! To fly without wing, you can also jump from a height. That's not flying. That's falling with style. But how can I prove it, who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait, not humanly possible. Eureka! Very well. You will have your explanation. It sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. Point. The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is... Oh, okay. Wait. We can't present a face. Interesting. How old's that guy anyway? Oh, he's actually like... He's an ambassador at the same age that I am. Oh, that's depressing. I like how we've not got old bag's age ever. Okay. I'm 30. Yeah, it was my birthday like 2 weeks ago. I'm an old man. Yeah, I'm 37. I've never like hidden my age either. So if you're only just finding this out now, then you're a bit behind the times. You thought I was older. No, I'm not randoneering. No, I'm not randoneering. There are several reasons that I'm not him, but the main one is I think a little bit younger, like a year or two maybe, kind of roughly the same age. But no, you probably think I'm older because I have the soul of an old man. Capitalism broke me, just picked me up and broke me over its back like Bane did to Batman. I will break your mind, but first I will break your body. Now, how about if we give a villain in the next game Bane's voice? That would be a delightful time, don't you think? Jesus Christ! Imagine, like you give someone the Bane voice, and then it turns out you have to voice them for like 30 hours worth of game, and you're just like, well, I seem to have made a slight fucky wucky. Alright. So the face hidden within the photo's blurry trailed shadow is... Wait. Hold on. It discredits one of the best villains of the Batman universe. I think that Arkham Asylum did Bane pretty well. Like, if you want a good Bane, perfectly fitting in the Harley Quinn series, I suppose, but, like, I think that if you want, like, Bane as Bane, then the Arkham Asylum version was, like, really good. You know, he just sounds like a fucking monster. He just sounds angry. He's roided to fuck. He could be a Warhammer. He could literally be a Warhammer. So he'd just be like, right, I'm gonna get you, bats, and I was gonna break you, you git. Except, you know, Mexican, not British, so, you know, kind of not the same anyway. So the face hidden within the blurry trailed shadow, the only thing I can think of is the statue, because only the statues have a face, right? I'm gonna try it.
Take that!
It's not that. This is the face. I thought I said that you better have a good explanation. I can't make head or tails of what you're trying to say with that. It's the other statue! God damn it! Ah! Oh, excuse me. I think I'm coming down with a bit of a cold or something. Okay. Ugh. See, the reason I went for the statue I did was because it's got burn marks on it. Because it's got the burn marks, right? Alright, so it's this one then.
Take that!
Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the primitive statue replica. You can't be serious. The Yatagarasu, or rather Callisto Yu dressed as Agent Shih-na, was inside Babal. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Yeet! Ha! Mr. Prosecutor! You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air? Ha! And how exactly did she do that? What? What? What's up with him? He is literally baring his fangs at me. Oh, is he supposed to be roaring? Is that what he's doing? Is he supposed to be, like, roaring or something? Okay. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? Hey, sis. I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right? So just before the murder, Francisco was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh? What are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. Huh. Do you really think a criminal will tell us the honest truth? How dare you! As I've said numerous times, there is absolutely no proof that I'm the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time. Which is why I would like to hear about it from you. Gah! Francisca, I feel that I still don't have enough information. Which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. Alright. So, what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements up until you came into this room. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. What she has to say turns out to be a waste of time. I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl. No! Huh. As you wish. Okay. Oh, excuse me. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai towards the ambassador's office, I fudged that, didn't I? I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Albert to his office. Okay. Francisca, I want us to make this very clear from the... let me try that again. Francisca, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. Reading English is hard. It's not. Like, for a native English speaker, it's not. But it turns out that I may have gone to Springfield Elementary. Me fail English? That's impossible! I see. For now, the only way I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. Okay. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. Oh, hang on, I've already read this. Okay, let's start pressing. Okay. Who would ever suspect a Von Karma of doing something wrong? I mean, not me. Definitely not me. Yeah. No. I mean, actually, if she's guilty of any crime, like with those shoulders, it's crimes against fashion. Sorry, give me a second. I thought I just heard something. Give me a moment, guys. Just a moment.
Daddy was having a paranoid moment. I'm back now, though.
Okay.
Hold it!
I thought your duty was to fact-find anything you could about the smuggling ring. Yes, that was my job. But upon hearing that the Yatagarasu had sent a calling card to the embassy, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy instead. That incident 7 years ago. Or have you forgotten what happened here back then? Anything related to that case we were involved in appears to be rather painful for her. It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself. Huh. It looks like you remember the case after all. Of course I do. I inspected every location, every possible escape route, and every aspect of the police's security detail. I did all that, and after that...
Hold it!
Okay. So you were at the theatre as well? Yes, and I suppose you were also there as well watching that stage show. Well, yes, so Francisco was there. Huh. Well, after the show was over and I saw the Steel Samurai off. Oh, that was pointless. Okay.
Hold it!
Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation for even the speech? For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? There! Did you hear that, Ara? Gring! That noise. Surely, tell me that you heard that. Tell me that you heard that. No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right? Yes, I suppose you're right. Yeah, that's the noise. That's the one that I was meaning earlier, like the one that says you're on the right track. Kind of like a light turning on. You never linked it to the right statement. It's always been kind of like a pointer to where you need to go, as far as I can tell. That seems to be the intention to it. And in the end, the Yatagarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden, even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Ah, who would have thought that she would use a shadow? Ah! Calm down, Francisca. She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact she couldn't figure it out herself. Huh. Anyway, there was no one in the Rose Garden, and we were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter. You always thought here is a very important info, don't forget it. Ah, right. I've always associated it with you need to press on or focus on this part. That's always been the assumption I got from it. Maybe it's just a difference in the viewpoint now. Maybe we're both wrong. I mean, maybe it's just some random sound. Okay.
Hold it!
Let's press her again. At that time, the Master II's body had yet to be found in this room. Excuse me. Is that correct? Maybe this is a Johnny Test episode? Jesus, someone actually remembers Johnny Test. Oh my goodness. I haven't even thought about that in about 20 years. Mad. That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence. A criminal say anything to get getting arrested. You were a kid watching cartoons when it aired? Yeah, I guess it would have been from that sort of era. I mean, when I was like watching cartoons growing up, it was kind of coming out of the 80s era of kind of dark, semi-realistic cartoons, and going on to the era of Hanna-Barbera being wacky. So, you know, stuff like Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls, and that was kind of like at the back end of when I was still watching cartoons regularly. It actually probably contributed to why I drifted off it, because I got really fed up with, like, the way a lot of Western cartoons are big, thick lines, and characters who are just drawn to be, like, goofy and ugly, and just, I don't like it. Not like my precious 2D waifus, like this. Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at his office, Ambassador Albert was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants.
Ah, I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office.
All right, then. Add that statement to your testimony, and let's hear some details. So Ambassador Albert was in this room at the time, was he? I think this is where the pasta goes in.
Hold it!
For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Albert was watering his plants at the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on this side, however the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Is that not correct? Isn't that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him. But fortunately for me, Ambassador Albert is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained some himself and is growing them with the utmost care, you know.
Yes, the plants in this room, they are all like my children.
The passion flowers in the flower box and the windowsill are growing beautifully too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. Oh, there are only 2 of them. There are only 2 of them because the sticks were taken out and thrown away. I'm so sorry to any Germans who might be watching. I say that, I'm not sorry at all. Get dunked on. Miss von Karma, what did you say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement? Do you not understand? What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well. I'm gonna push the button.
Objection!
Francisca, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. Ha! I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss von Karma like this? Yes, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir. Ah! All I've done is state what I saw. I have not made a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I'm still under suspicion for murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles? At some point, Western animation stopped trying to be visually appealing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't think it was a decision in terms of, like, saving on animation costs. A lot of them just, like if you look at, say, SpongeBob, for example, you know, most of the time it's just kind of goofy, but every now and then it just posts a hyper-detailed gross out, and it's just like, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. No. At the very least, it is a contradiction in this enigmatic case, one that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Huh. Then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. Dissing SpongeBob's crazy. I mean, it's a fine cartoon. It's alright, you know. It's not... I don't get the appeal to the extent it has. But what I mean is, like, the fact that some... You know, most of the time it's just kind of goofy and fun and, you know, just as it is. But then it will, you know, like, you get that hyper-detailed gross-out shot, and it's just like... I don't like that. You know, I don't like hyper-detailed gross-out. Right? I like hyper-detailed anime woman abdominal muscles. This is the difference between Western and Japanese animation. You know, Western animation cannot give me hyper-detailed Japanese anime girl abdominal muscles. You like it in shows like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I've never enjoyed it myself. It just... I don't get the appeal. Like, I don't get the appeal of the hyper gross out stuff. It's not for me. No. I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine that flower box. You like the Uncanny Valley vibe it has? I guess. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy.
They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth.
I understand. Okay. This watering can has a rather robust design. Mr. Edgeworth, why are you telling us stuff we can clearly see for ourselves? Plus, if you keep wasting time talking about that, Miss Von Karma's going to get arrested. Wrong, Ambassador. Firebomb. Ooh, yeah. Let's firebomb his missile room. Let's firebomb the Ambassador's missile room, and then set his ship on fire, and laugh as they scream, and die, and burn, and become crispy. Also, crystal ship. Aha! This patch of soil looks as though it is something removed from it. Huh, what are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clam up all of a sudden? I'm still here waiting for an explanation, you know. Did you know, Agent Lang, flowers are best appreciated in silence? It looks like two things were pulled out of this flower box. Okay. I think. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they are actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports. Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only two in me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lies failed you. Ah! Mouse Edgeworth! Hurry up and shut this man up for me already. I suppose I'll need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? Huh. I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight. But I highly doubt it'll last till the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence. The truth the passion flowers reveal can be seen in this piece of evidence.
Take that!
Shih-na, who was supposedly in Babal the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. Huh, and so what? Is this really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight. Ayah! Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Shih-na's hands, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue. Ah! Huh. Very well then. Those hyper-strict borders now look more like Swiss cheese. So when my mum comes up next weekend, we're going to a Christmas market on the Saturday. And unfortunately, the guy who I normally buy cheese from isn't there this year, which I'm a bit sad about. But there is another cheese merchant who does some pretty good stuff. And it's like, ooh, I can get me some cheese. I have a tendency to get cheese around Christmas and I just eat all my cheese around that time. Get the cheese eating for the year out of the way. And then the rest of the year is just like minimal cheese, but like around Christmas it's just like
Cheese-gasm.
This is the British way. Please understand. Okay. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal. How did these support sticks find their way to Babal and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. Aha, so that's why. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. Huh, it's just another stick, isn't it? And so it is, but the shape of the support stick is what is important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. Oh, I see. Is it making... Hang on. Is it making the emblem? And the object that completes the picture when used with the support sticks is... Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, I need to think about this. It's the flower, isn't it?
Eureka!
Nope, this is what is used with the support sticks. Come again. Isn't it obvious? Someone used those with this. Those with this. Could you be any more vague? Why don't you try again? Yes, I suppose I should. It would appear that this was insufficient in conveying what I wanted to say. Hold on. So, what the sticks were used with? Passion flower support stakes. The answer should become obvious to me if I just think calmly about it once more. But the only thing that can really connect the two offices together has to be this! Huh? The knives? I don't know. I'm very confused right now. I don't get what he's trying... What's being used with the support sticks? A hand? A statue? What? Nanda? The spear? I need the sticks something... and something like rope or wire. Need the sticks... Trying to find the second something. Sticks, something, and fight, and something like rope or wire. Well, hang on. Is it the crossbow? Have those been used as like darts with the crossbow? I suppose what you could do is put like a wire into the end of the thing, fire it as a crossbow bolt, and then use it as a grapnel. I'll try the crossbow.
Eureka!
That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting. I am. These hair sticks, or rather plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows, but a crossbow doesn't fire arrows, it fires bolts. Hi-ya! I've done it. I found the common thread that connects the two offices. But this thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using these arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all of these things together. Oh? Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. Oh? The only weapon Edgeworth ever used was a gun and he threw it rather than shoot it. I mean, the thing is, right, he might have thrown the gun, but he still hit someone with it. He still hit someone with that gun that he threw. That's kind of impressive. So the bald statue was draped in the outer grass whose clothes and then shot over here. Even if he fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to him. I don't think I need to tell you that the primitive statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? Ah, I see, yeah. The primitive statues didn't sprout wings. Huh. Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second you were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The primitive statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Okay, please do. I think I see what I need to do here. Let me bez in a quick save. I think I see what I need to do almost immediately. Let's press on everything though, just to see if there's another statement to append.
Hold it!
But that incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo. Ha! And what an incredible scene it was. This photo was taken by a freelance photojournalist, right? Yeah, so I hear. And not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not the ones that sell photos of spirits and giant creatures to tabloids. Yes, I know what you mean. I've seen those sorts of photos many a time in court. But there have been times when those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. If you had ever studied course of law, you'd know this is entirely plausible. Ha! You really believe the stuff you're spewing right now? A courtroom certainly is a strange place if what you say is true. Don't be rude to Wassa. A lot of hair? I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry at all. Like, I'm desperately not sorry. But there really is something odd about that photo, no matter how you look at it. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! But we were in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusions, the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wants to launch with the crossbow is not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues. Okay. Here we are. If it wasn't a statue that was tied to the arrows, then what did the crossbow launch? This is what we need. It's the wire.
Objection!
Ha-ha! Finally we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. Huh, I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alaba's primitive statue could be moved. Gravity can be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babal's primitive statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. How do you explain that? Aha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick work. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head? Motion? What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's primitive statue. What? Nep sees physic, Nep leaves. Look, we didn't really cover physics at school. I have a limited understanding of how it works. I know that if something go fast and hit something not move, then something go fast not move and not move bad. But like, swinging? Bungee action? Like, bungee action would be like the rope hits the bottom and then leaps back up, right? But if that was the case, the string wouldn't be in the clock, because the clock is here that we found it in. So bungee action would suggest that it went up, you know, it kind of went down, got tied and went whoop. Swinging motion? I don't know what... I'm having to try and guess what these things mean. Bungee is down then up because of tension. Right, okay. So, down then up seems to make sense. I don't know. Rotary is like a helicopter. Okay. And then I guess a swinging motion would be like throwing it. I guess swinging motion would be like throwing it, huh? Or like a swing set. Oh, right, okay. So kind of like... Swinging would be Tarzan going from one office to the other. Right, okay. I'm just going to roll the dice on, like, the bungee one, because I don't... Like I said, I have no like, functional understanding of physics beyond, like, you know, the basic law of don't hit things at high speed. It's not the bungee action. Okay. Yeah, this is just random bullshit go. Fair enough. We haven't had one of those for a while. Okay, it's not that. So it's the top one. We've literally just had to guess. Fucking hell. I believe it was done via rotary motion. This is not random bullshit if you know basic physics. Yeah, but I was never taught basic physics. It's not something we learned in school. Like, I think it's probably different for kids these days. But, like, it's not basic physics when it's, like, a complete unknown. You know, it's just, like, complex physics, because I have no understanding of, like, how... This works like clothes hanging on a clothesline. Huh? What? This works like clothes hanging on a clothesline. That makes me even more confused. What? Maybe you had weird clotheslines? Yeah, like, I've got two clotheslines in my driveway, plus a third one that kind of ties on. And they're just lines of wire that go from point A to point B. So, like, I can put clothes on it, but they ain't taking those clothes anywhere. And if they're rotating, then there's something going on with the wind. And I need to secure my stuff. I don't understand what sort of clothesline you mean. If the two statues were transported simultaneously, this works the same way how you raise a flag or a sail. I'm just looking at my flagpole over in the corner of the office. So if I want to raise a flag, I firstly clip the flag onto my pole, and then I kind of hoist it upwards. Some clotheslines have pulleys to go around. Really? I've never heard of that before. That must be like a rest of the world thing. So if they have them over here, I've never seen one before. Like, literally never seen a clothesline like that. Normally, here, a clothesline is either literally a line of wire that goes point A to point B, or it's like this weird kind of upside-down pyramid-shaped thing. And then you kind of clip your clothes onto that, and it kind of rotates around in the wind. And that, like, it does rotate when there's wind on it, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just kind of, it's fixed into a point. It's almost like a helicopter blade, except there's clothes attached to it. I think the theory is like the wind is moving the clothes around, so the wind's going through the clothes and it dries them quicker, or some bullshit. I don't know. But pulleys, I've never seen that before. Simultaneously, get real. The statues will collide somewhere along the way.
Objection!
Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? If you shot an arrow with the two ends of a wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. Yeah, but how the fuck would we ever have any indication that this is what they did? How would we have ever been able to work this? There's no way that I would have worked this out on my own. Like, this is a full-on random bullshit go moment. Oh my god. Lang Shi says, you found it very obvious when you first played the case. This is the first time in Ace Attorney Investigations that I have just had to go random bullshit and just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. It's the only time in this game I've had to do it. Like, this is one of the most obtuse things in probably all of Ace Attorney so far. Like, I dare say, this is on par with the weirdest stuff in Phoenix Wright. Easily for me. Don't object and call success what is beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension difference between the two wires, the top one had sagged too much to put the statues to collide anyway.
Objection!
Agent Lang. As you know, the primitive statues are one of a kind national treasure. And the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Like she says. Ooh. Now the question is, what caused the rotary motion? I'm gonna go with spirit channeling. Like if we're pulling out the weird shit for this case now, it's Maya Faye. She's come back and she's just like, right, it's time to do some magic ass stuff, chat. Let's fucking go. Oh, come to me, big titty sister. Oh, and Pearls is just like, Mystic Maya, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, I'm tweaking. I did too much cocaine, Pearls. And Pearls is just like, oh no, I shouldn't have cut your cocaine with acid. And everything goes very, very strange for a little bit there. It all goes very strange for a little bit. Right? Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirators set themselves up in 2 different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the 2 ends of the wire down on 1 arrow. Then the 2 of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to Babal, which was to be disposed of. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock. QED? What? What the fuck is QED? What? Hold on. What the fuck does that mean? Quod erat demonstrandum. That which was to be demonstrated. Oh, I see. So it's something where it basically means it's like you're saying you know, and that's that. You know, it's like I've proven this point. In French, you say CQFD. Did I pronounce it right? Did I pronounce it right? I hope I did. In Yorkshire,
Secreta falatum.
okay, understood. You know what we say in Yorkshire? Jobs are good. We're very straightforward. We don't bullshit with Latin or some weird language with like T's that are pronounced, you know, with like no T. You know, it's like that. You know, job done. Right. Sometimes we will literally just say right then. That's like we will literally just say that. Let me put it in chat just so you can see how it's spelled. Like literally, we'll just say right then. That's all it is. Aight, bruv. We're Londoners. Does this prove it, right, Agent Lang? Since I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor. The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. Who is he looking at as pudding? So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what he said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there's one more piece of evidence. One more? This would be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact? Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of the length of wire, I believe that it is right here in this very room. The fan? Wait, the ceiling fan? I see. Something that rotates. Wait. Uh-oh. Chat, no. Oh, no! Ah! It's me. I'm what they used. Oh, no. Looking for something that rotates. It's me. I got rotated. Why does this... Oh my god, that hurts every time. People say the pain of childbirth is bad. No, the pain of being rotated is much worse. Okay.
Take that!
Ha! Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last pistol's a trick. Are two pulleys. Precisely. The ceiling fan doubles as pulleys in this case. If you say so, game. Like, I don't know. I don't know what a pulley is. Like, legitimately, this is not something I have knowledge of, so let's just go with yeah, sure, whatever. My wife hearing the really weird sounds I make was really what I'm doing. No. She just kind of sighs and shrugs at this point. She's just, again. Oh, no, you farted and you moaned immediately afterwards. Do you have to do that? Come on, nah. Come on, nah. And I'm just there like, ooh. Because, it's a positive proof, usually in math or deductive logic. Reductio ad absurdum is used to disprove something by first assuming it's true and proving it leads to a ridiculous conclusion. The thing is, maths cannot have positive proof because maths is bullshit. Let me tell you that maths is bullshit, straight up. And here's an example of maths being bullshit, right? If A is 10 and B is Edgeworth's unnecessary feelings for Phoenix, then prove that never going to give you up for Y. Standard algebraic equation. It makes no sense. It's just nonsense. It's just silly. There's no logic to it whatsoever. It's just daft, right? That's maths. And then you say to the teacher, I don't understand this. Can you explain to me? And their response to that is, well, everyone else does. And it's just like, what was that? Hold on. Sorry, give me a second, guys. What was that? Don't know what that was. Yeah, that was the sort of teacher I had for maths, and that's why I can't do maths, because it made no sense to me. And when I said, this doesn't make sense to me, the response I got was, well, tough shit. You know, everyone else gets it, so you should too. And it's like, cool. Yeah, I guess I'll just not understand maths for the rest of my life then. And I don't. It literally makes no sense to me. Like, I avoid it every instance I can. I have issues with trigonometry. You learned about it last year. Yeah, I don't get it. Explain it again. I mean, the thing is, like, anything beyond, like, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, I've never really had much use for. Like, averages, maybe. Proof by consensus. Nice fallacy of the popular. Or those in position of authority. Yeah. See, proof by consensus is something I take big issue with. Because a lot of people would have said, oh, yeah, Brexit was, like, well good because, like, loads of people agreed on it. We had a majority. It's like, yeah, it's turned out to be terrible, though. We said it was going to be terrible, and you said, no, it's going to be great, and it turned out to be terrible. So it's a dangerous thing. I prefer to just think everything is just ridiculous and fucked, and just kind of roll with that, you know. Anyhow. And thanks to the fact that there is one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fan's made for the perfect pulley set for the wires to run on. You've had teachers re-explain to you a whole semester in 30 minutes, and those are amazing, and then teachers refuse to explain an equation because you just had to listen? Yeah, the only I never had a maths teacher who would re-explain something that I didn't understand. It's just like, yeah, just understand it. And I'm just like, well, I don't. I actually ended up walking out of maths at one point. I told the teacher to go fuck themselves and just walked out. I'm just like, no, I'm not dealing with this. You know. If they can't do their job, why should I be sat in that class just getting frustrated? No, I fucking hate maths. It is the worst thing to try and make me do. Like, you will never get me doing any stream that involves maths. Ever. ever. You couldn't pay me enough. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You were lucky to have often good maths teachers. Physics teachers, however? Yeah, I mean, imagine having a physics teacher. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is a physics teacher? I've never had one of them. Literally. We learned a little bit about, like... I mean, I say physics. Our physics classes were, like... it's also a space. Ugh, you really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Barbalese offices, and that the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. Oh, it's him! It's this motherfucker! Oh! Interesting. Real Brexit's never been tried. Real Brexit would be awful. Like, I couldn't think of anything worse than being stuck on a little island with British Tories telling me, like, everything I can and can't do, and having the authority to enforce it fully. No, the whole thing was a really fucked idea. Like, it was basically, hey, let's get some votes by, like, riling up the people who vote for UKIP. And then it started rolling away, and the government at the time was like, oh, well, we actually have to put this to a vote now. Oh, we're getting better with free trades, open borders. Good, we're going to room that just for us, yeah. All of Europe laughed at us. All of Europe still laughs at us, and they're right to. Like, it's absolutely galling to look over the channel, and the French are there with their hands just slightly over their mouths, just like, oh, you stupid British. And it's like, yeah, actually. And then the Germans are over there, it's like, oh, Dummkopf. But it's like, actually, yeah. And then the Spanish are like, arriba, arriba, you are dumb. And we're like, yeah, we're kind of stupid in this one. You're not laughing at how much given multiple of your politicians want to have Frexit. I mean, if Brexit taught me anything, it's that eating politicians could be legitimate. Hey, Cyber, how you doing? Even the US was gawking at it shortly before we elected Trump for the first time. I think Brexit was what kicked the whole thing off, wasn't it? Like we went for Brexit, and you wish more European countries would be more self-reliant and less reliant on the EU bureaucracy. See, that's the thing. We are. Like, we genuinely are. The EU is just kind of an overarching organisation, and it does have a lot of powers and whatnot, but every single country under it is self-governing. The thing is, it's like what people try and say is bad about it actually normally works to a degree, and yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of red tape, it does need to be better, but the benefits far outweigh the bad bits. You know, like being able to just like, before then, if I had a passport, I could just like go to France or go to Netherlands or go to Germany, and I could go around any country within that area without having to, you know, fuck about. Now, there's so much red tape to go through. Exports are massively expensive, imports are massively expensive, the cost of everything shot up, businesses closed down because of it, so it was basically, what people sold the idea of it on was, how do I word this? So what people bought into Brexit on the back of was, hey, let's hijack ourselves to where we already are. And it's like, you know, when I say that, I mean, like, you know, what we'll do, right, is we'll basically leave this organisation which gives us all of these things, and then we will gain all of these things that we've already got and not lose the things that we don't have and got. It's like, what? But we've already got these things. You've literally put us into Gibbs paradox. You've taken us to a place that we already are, and in doing so, you've caused everything around us to crumble. You've caused the entire fabric of reality to warp into some absolute fart-flavoured gas cloud, and then everything just melts away like a fucking MC Escher painting. And then suddenly you're on the sideways stairs, and it's like, oh, Boris is at it again. I think that what Cyber just said actually rings true, because like when we did Brexit, we were basically like, hey, America, watch this. And then we did this, and then America's like, right, hold my beer. And then a couple of years later, England's like, right, you motherfuckers, hold my beer. And it basically went on like, dude, where's my car? And then it's like America and England just there, just like, hey, dude, what does my back say? Dude! Hey, what does my back say? Sweet! And it just kind of went on like that for a bit. And I think if I don't laugh at the absurdity of the situation, then the big depression comes. The really big depression comes. There are people that genuinely ended up homeless because they lived in an EU country, had to go back to the UK. Yeah, and there were people over here who literally had to uproot their entire lives and go back to where they were from originally, just because of that. And it's like, beforehand, everything was legal, everything was above board, and suddenly things changed. It was just like, eh. Wasn't the whole thing fueled by racist nationalism? Yes. In a word, yes. UKIP and the BNP, and basically all of those sorts. And they're bad, you know. You might go to Scotland and Ireland later this year to finally complete what you need for the degree. Scotland and Ireland are pretty good. Like, they hate the English, and I understand that. And I don't blame them for that, and I agree with them on that, because the things the English did to the Scottish and Irish are myriad and super fucked. But in and of themselves, they're pretty nice places. My wife's family is Irish, and when I say Irish, they're Irish Catholic. So, like, on her granddad's side, when all of them were alive, there were like 15 of the bastards. Like that whole, you know, that whole Monty Python skit, every sperm is sacred? Her granddad's side of the family is literally like that. You spend 2 months abroad and visit 3 cultural landmarks per week while there. I mean, cultural landmarks. I was just trying to think about our cultural landmarks, but I'm pretty sure they're ones that we've just, like, stolen from other places. My wife's side of the family must have been shocked to hear her marrying a British guy. Nah, not really. They actually moved over here. I think that her granddad's dad was a... I don't know if the term is pejorative or not, but he was a navvy, a railway builder. And... the issue we face is cultural landmarks are in London. London sucks. Yeah, London is dildos. I fucking hate London. London actually can just go suck a cock. I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate London. If you ask anyone in the north what they think of London, they'll say they're right bastards down there. The mines would count. Some of them converted into museums. There's a lot of abandoned mines around here. Seems a bit weird to make legal immigration harder whilst making illegal immigration easier. That's the thing. They didn't make illegal immigration easier. It's exactly the same. It's not changed at all. So all they did was basically make legal immigration harder, and that was it. Nothing else has fundamentally changed. It's exactly the same as it was before. And that's the thing that's really weird to me. It's like, well, you know, they've achieved absolutely nothing except for making one particular aspect much harder. But that was the aspect that they didn't want to change. So it's just... It's a very fucked up situation, and UK politics has basically nosedived into just a dung heap since then. We've got on a little bit of a tangent there, so... The real mastermind behind this case... Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food. Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of the finger here, and this case will explode into an international incident. Yippee! However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice but to rush in. There is a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind is. Oh, okay. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-la-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Now, think. The mines and count some are converted into museums. There is a mining museum not very far from where I live. It's in town. It's about... By car, it's about 5 minutes away. Like 10 if you have to find parking. Pretty interesting, actually. Pretty interesting, yeah. I mean, there's some abandoned mines around. In fact, the actual mining museum... I'm thinking of the Miners' Union. The mining museum is about half an hour up the road. Like, you go up the motorway to... the next junction from where I go to work if I'm in the office. and then you come off there, go through some side roads, and then you actually come to a mining museum with an entire preserved coal mine underneath it. It was really interesting. We did a volunteer day there once. So, there is a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind is. Now we've got this. This is handwriting. I think it's the handwriting. I'm gonna try it.
Take that.
It's not that. And this is it. Ha. What's my real dessert? How long do you intend to keep it from me? That piece of evidence isn't satisfying at all. There's 2 pieces that work here. Ah, stop being so picky with your food. 2 pieces that work here, so it's going to be the sticks or the flowers. The person who concocted the trick used to smuggle the statues. I should already have the piece of evidence that shows who that is. I just have to present it, no matter what the cost. Okay, it's got to be the flowers then.
Take that.
Will these folks in other countries provide the mining resources? Yeah. I mean, actually, like, this is a thing, Zach, right? You've actually hit onto a very cogent point there in terms of what's wrong with how Britain reacts to certain things at this point in time. So, you had an entire crowd saying, we need to stop people coming into the country. They're ticking our gerbs and, you know, British jobs for British people and all that. And it's like, okay, so they're now no longer in the country. Do you fancy coming to work on the farm for a bit? No, I ain't doing that. No, that's shit work. Don't want to do that. Oh, do you want to come work in a care home? No, no siree. No. And then you get this entire group of people who complain that there's no jobs. Like, there's plenty of jobs, but you're just refusing to do them because you think they're beneath you. You know, as far as I'm concerned, a job's a job. I think I've mentioned this before, but one of my close pals back home, I think it was his dad. It was either his mum or his dad. I think his dad, though, said to him one day while I was there, and this is one of the pieces of advice that has stuck with me throughout my life. There is always going to be a job in food and shit. You know, there's 2 sectors where you will always be able to find work. One is growing food. One is dealing with waste. All honest work is noble. Precisely. You know, at the end of the day, if I'm speaking to someone, so what do you do for work? And so I'm a bin man. It's like, cool. You are necessary to the function of society. Without you, refuse piles up. You do an important job. You do a job for which you are compensated. You drive the fun truck. Yeah. You drive the truck we hide the bodies in. And for that, I respect you. You know, there used to be like this real stigma against dustmen. I mean, we're going back many years, but it's like, but they're necessary. You know, they perform a vital role to our society. Every kid in the neighborhood comes outside to say hello to you. I don't know about that. I mean, we just put our bins out on the night. They just pick them up for us. But no, I mean, if someone works, I don't really care what they do. Like, if they do honest work, that's all I need to know. You know, you contribute. And that's all I really care about. You know, there's a lot of people I know who do, you know, like care work or what you might say is menial jobs, but it's just like, well, I'm not going to treat someone any different because they're doing a job which is not, you know, like mine, where it's complicated and, you know, involves courts and whatnot. It's like, well, you know, sometimes people at work, when I'm talking to them on the phone, will say stuff like, oh, you know, I'm not really smart enough to work out this whole law thing. I'm just like, well, it's not really, you know, it's not actually that hard, you know. Give yourself, you know, I can't say this and such, but it's like, give yourself a bit more credit, you know. If I can do it, then you're not too dumb to do it, because I'm fucking dumb a lot of the time, if I'm honest. So, when you're a kid, you say hello to the bin guys every morning at your grandparents' house. That's kind of cool. Bins for the bin god, yes. There's not going to be any job in food soon in Britain. That's true. I mean, actually, no, there will be. There will be. Grave diggers. Because we're going to have to take to eating the flesh of the deceased. Oh, no. There's prions in there. Now we got zombies. Amazing. This smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had time to grow so big that Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. Uh-oh. We've already self-isolated themselves by living on an island. Yippee! Yes, Umbrella's going to use us as like a prison camp. And then Claire Redfield's going to get sent over to us after she gets caught in the Paris lab. And then it's going to be like, oh no, the zombies. Oh, I'm going to find Chris. And then there's going to be this kid who's like, hey, Claire, give me the golden Lugers. And it's, oh, it's fucking Steve. Oh, no. I actually hurt myself just then, chat, because I remembered that Steve exists. The irony of the UK being turned into a prison camp. Yeah. Hang on, I'm just gonna get a lozenge. My throat's playing up. I've been wondering if I've been coming down with something. Got me some Fisherman's Friend. Yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I've got eucalyptus in my tummy, and it's hopefully not gonna make me cough that very much. On top of all of this, the fact that the culprit knew that both officers had ceiling fans tells us that the person had very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I'm accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus it can only be you, Quercus alba. Are you out of your mind, Mars Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I'm saying, and I'm sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would we need to use a trick like that? I understand that you'll need to doubt me. We have castles designed to protect against unorganized and armed masses. If we had more firearms, we'd be in good shape to resist the zombies. I wouldn't trust most Brits with a gun. They have a limited understanding of how to actually safely operate them. I have to stress safely. So the close friend I mentioned and the dad who gave the advice, his dad is ex-forces, and he actually, like, you know, he's a license holder for firearms. So I'm actually trained. Like, I'm not trained to the point I have a license. I've not actually shot a gun in about 10 years, but I am firearms trained. You know, if you gave me a weapon at a range and said, right, you know, just here it is. It's not loaded. Crack on. And it was, you know, I could knock down targets, no problem whatsoever. I miss shooting. Actually, it's fun. It's a fun activity. It's one of those things where most Brits, you would have to drill it into them very hard. So I think more firearms. I don't know. I mean, we got bricks. We got lots of bricks. We got ruined chunks of building. We can throw those at each other. That'll be fine. That'll be fun. It'll just be like football's on. Yippee! However, there is one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. The prosecutor's badge. No. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. Samurai dogs? Is it them? See, I think the attorney's badge, yes. Exactly. See, I think it's the trump card. I think it's the trump card.
Take that!
It's not the trump card. It's something that moved, we don't know why. Alright, let's just skip through this text. Okay. He's not the trump card. Ow. Okay. There is one piece that has only been partially checked. It's something that moved, but we don't know why. And that piece... Right, okay. That piece that lies in the heart of the smuggling. Something that moved, but we don't know why. Because didn't Cochin have this in his pocket? Didn't Cochin have the key in his pocket? He opened the safe, so it makes sense he had it. Fair. Something that moved, but we don't know why. I mean, we've not really done anything with this yet, but if this was from the Jam and Ninja stage, then that's for later? Okay. The knife? No, we know why the knife was moved. We've already worked that out. It was moved to kill him. Something that moved, but we don't know why. Ugh. Something that... Tell it if... Oh, one of the statues is hollow. So hang on. This is the fake. This one is the fake, is it not? Or is this the real one? Used to be real, but it's been swapped with a fake from Babal. This is the fake. Okay.
Take that!
I would fully understand the reasoning of the situation with the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real primitive statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. You gotta go eating? No worries. I will probably be wrapping up relatively soon because like I'm really tired. So I'm gonna get to the end of this act and then we'll probably call it there. And who better to ask for that reason than King Primidux himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. He's gone very quiet. A shield, huh? There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about it. I bet it's supposed to mean the guy's protecting something. I don't think it's supposed to have that deep of meaning behind it. In that case, what are we wasting time with this for? Let's look at some other area. Oh, I understand! You see the mouth there? Press down on that and it drops a sweet out. It's a Pez dispenser. Nice! Oh, this guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador. I suppose that's possible. Take a look at this area around the base of his neck. It looks like a gap. Hey, you're right! Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret. Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What? Hurry up and dump it, Miles! Alright, here goes. Oh? Wow, it really did open up. Hey, what's this thing that fell out? I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. What is that? Oh, it's actually like popped in half. What's in there? Is this... Hey, is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills. Somehow, it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates. And the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabasta to begin with. Uh-oh. The primitive statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat, and the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Shih-na, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damask II and... bonk! Then, in order to frame the steel samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba? You're the leader of the smuggling ring? My country is a mess. And it's all because of you? You're the one who killed Damask II? Answer us!
I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there is one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was... Mr. Coachin.
What? Quit screwing around. He can lift? Yeah. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt onto a dead man. If there's one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real ringleader, Quirkus Alba.
It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang.
Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation.
Logic and investigation? Only seconds ago, you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can get such flip-floppy logic any real weight, do you?
Huh. Looks like you still don't get why I came back.
Excuse me?
You see, the reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target has been you.
What?
Agent Lang, I demand an explanation! Sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. You did? At least he's willing to change his mind when presented with evidence. It looks like he's actually set a very good trap there. Like, he used Francisca as a way to get into the embassy. So he used the premise of proving her guilty as a way to get in. And because of the fact that Alba is going to try and deflect onto someone else, he's allowed it. That's a masterwork. I knew this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for it. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisco of the murder. Using Francisco as the bait, you were able to gain its entry and investigate rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given me okay to poke around. So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening, I thank you. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor. But somehow, if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you'd be able to figure out the real culprit with a special brand of logic. The evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of the prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? Don't know about all that. But one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him.
Ho, you're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you?
Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me.
Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring.
Objection!
Don't be such a sore loser. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity.
Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit blade was hidden inside that statue.
Objection!
You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything.
It doesn't make sense? Where doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense?
He's really got us. He's turns the entire situation around against us. The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. If we can somehow find that proof now, we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? Oh, is this where the trump card comes in? The trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, the protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence.
Needless to say, we von Karbitz are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, and by any means necessary.
Sorry, 1 second. Give me a moment. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. I no longer follow the path of Manfred von Karma, and I won't follow the path of the Yatagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law? What is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? That would be the Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations 2, the prosecutor's path. That choice is what I must make by my own hand, here and now. Oh, what do we do? This is actually... I'm going to save. I'm going to play the trump card. Hang on. Wait. Hold on. Do you remember in 1.5 there was the piece of fabric, and if you use it at the wrong time, you get destroyed? I'm going to try it. Roll the fucking dice. There is no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this. Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen that before in my life. It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates. Oh, is that what it is? This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Cochin. Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession? Because it was hand-delivered to me by a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense, and let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader? I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given. What? This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG8 incident. The KG8 incident? The card and the video. These two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate. Very interesting. I must admit I'm very curious now. Very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence you've presented. The prey the Yatagarasu have been chasing all this time now stands before me. I can't allow this man, who has had free reign for 10 long years, to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. Okay. That and the updated autopsy report. Give me a second, chat. I'm just going to check something like really quickly. Hold on a minute. I just want to see like how much more of this we got to go through. Hold on a minute. Let me have a look. I think that's a good place for us to wrap things up, actually. It looks like we've probably got one more stream's worth of this game left, so let me just pull over here a minute. I know it's not quite like a normal place for us to leave off, but at the same time, it's like I'm really tired. We've been going for a bit over 2 hours today, so I'm going to get things wrapped up there. I think I'm going to move... I'm going to move Fields of Mystery from tomorrow to probably Wednesday. I think I'm going to stream Tectonica tomorrow. I need to have a look into what my schedule's looking like, but I'm not streaming Friday and Saturday of next week for certain because my mum's up. Sunday, maybe. It depends when she goes home. If I'm free in the evening, I might stream something. I don't know yet, though. So, thanks for the hangs, guys. We're just going to wrap things up there. Hopefully see you guys tomorrow night for Tectonica. Probably going to be kicking off somewhere between 5 and 6. I'll see what life says. But in the meantime, cheers for the hangs. I'm going to go get myself a throat sweet. And I will see you soon. Till then, take care.